Hello everyone. Let us start Git and GitHub tutorial. First, let us understand about the version control. So, version control is nothing but, for example, you have wrote one code and for example, let it be version V1 and you want to do change few you want to add few changes to your first code. So you have added the few changes to your code, then this present code will become this updated code will become version v2, and again for version v2 you want to add few more changes, then this file will be c3, and the version is v3 of that particular file. For example, here you have created three different files by updating the code. You have created three different files. For example, you can create more also, and three different versions as well. So, for example, I was in version V3, I mean file C3. I want to get code from version V1. That means from file C1, I just want to get little much code from there. So I can go back, the developers can go back, that means revert back to the previous versions, and they can collaborate with the code efficiently. So this is how the version control is what it means. It will track all the changes to with the files, and the developers can go back, that means they revert back to the previous versions, and they can get the code, they can collaborate with the files very easily. So this is all about the version control. Now let us know about the Git. Git is nothing but distributed version control system. So this Git will track all the changes. So whatever the changes you have done, a minute changes will also get tracked. That means if you changed at least a or at least one single letter, that will also get tracked. Okay, after initializing the Git. So this helps multiple developers, they can collaborate with each other. It is a distributed version control system, right? It will track all the changes whatever you have done to your code, even a single letter also. All that will be tracked. So now is so okay, let us know what will happen without Git and what will happen with Git. Okay, so without Git, if for example you will have in in your laptop, you will have different projects, right? You will not do a single project, you will do different projects, right? For that, for doing those different projects, you have to create different folders, and there will be different folders here. For example, first, for example, let us take one project. Okay, so project one folder. Okay, you will have one code there. For example, you want to do changes to that particular code. Let us make our first code as version v1. Okay, you want to change the particular code, that particular code you want to change. You have to copy paste the whole code. You have to copy the whole code and paste the whole code somewhere else, and then you have to do the changes to your code, right? Again, for example, let it be version v2. Again, for version v2 you want to do few more changes, then you have to copy the whole first code, you have to copy and paste it somewhere, second code you have to copy and paste it somewhere, and then you have to do the changes here and make it as version v3. So this is how you have to update your code. You have to copy paste all the time. You have to do that without Git. If there is no Git, if there is no Git here, you have to do this all the time. Copy paste, and you will not have a single project, right? You will have multiple projects, you will do multiple projects. So it would be more difficult for you. You have to search for the code, so it would be more difficult if there is no Git. So but with the Git, you can get your previous code very easily. Okay, as Git is distributed version control system, it will track all the changes, even a single letter also it will track. Okay, that's what you have to remember. And here, for example, here also we have different project folders. And for example, Git, firstly you have to know what is a repo. Git repo means, repo is nothing but a folder where the Git is initialized. So what is initialization of Git? We will know more about it later when we are doing the hands-on. Okay. Now, repo is nothing but it is a folder where the Git is initialized. Here, the Git will get initialized. It is a folder. Okay. So, for example, we have wrote one code and you want to do the changes to the particular code. You can directly do in that folder only. You don't need to copy paste it and keep it somewhere. You don't need to do that. You can just do the changes in that particular code itself. Again, if you want to do changes, yeah, you can go ahead to do the changes in that particular folder only. In that particular code only, you can directly do the changes. For all the projects, the same process will be go on, right? Like that, you can add how many codes you, I mean, how many times you want to update, you can update that particular code. Okay, this is all about the Git. Now let us know what is a GitHub and what will happen with and without GitHub. So GitHub is for Git is generally it is a local. Okay, in your computer, what will happen, how it will happen, it is all about Git. But GitHub is a cloud-based platform. You have to host your Git repositories which were there. You have to host it in the cloud platform. Then the developers will collaborate with your code. They can manage the code and the changes will get tracked. So, what does all these mean? Let us know. So, GitHub is a cloud-based platform. There, every almost, I mean, if your code is public, then everyone can watch it. Everyone can do the changes to your code, and the changes will get tracked. Let us know more about it through this diagram. So with and without GitHub. So without GitHub, what will happen? Without GitHub, for example, you have wrote one code and you want to share that particular code to your friend. Okay, if there is one friend only, then you can collaborate much easier. But if there were tens and thousands of friends, how can you share your code to each and every them? And if they do any changes to that particular code, they have to send it back to you, back to others, other friends, like that. And you will get a lot of confusion, right? For example, if there is one on one, it would be easier if you sent it through Gmail, WhatsApp, or whatever, Facebook, whatever. If you can send the code and they will see that code. If they want to do any changes, they can do any changes and they will send back to you the code. And you will know where did they change the code. All that you will know if there is one on one. But if there were multiple friends, if there are hundreds and thousands of friends, how can you, or how thousands of developers, how can they collaborate easily? It's much more difficult, right? You can't track the changes also. It would be more difficult and very confusion. So you have with Git, but with GitHub, actually GitHub is a centralized platform. Okay, for example, you have a repo, you have a local repo in your computer, I mean in your laptop. You have to send that particular repo to GitHub. You have to host it in GitHub. So if your code is of public, if your URL is public, then the every developer in the GitHub platform can watch your code, can do the changes to your code, and whatever the changes they have done, that will be stored in the GitHub itself, and you can know what were the changes they have done, what were the changes you have done. All that things will be stored in the GitHub itself. As it is centralized platform, each and every developer can collaborate much easily through GitHub. Okay. And they can manage the code, they can track the code very easily through GitHub. So that is why GitHub is very important. So without GitHub, it would be much more difficult. Now let us know the Git workflow. So it is a Git workflow. Firstly, local files. Local files were nothing but the files which you have created in your computer. Actually, if you did not add your local files to the staging area, if you did not add your files, I mean local files to the staging area, the files will not get tracked. The files will not get tracked. You have to add your files to the staging area, then only the files get tracked. Why adding after after adding to staging area, they will get tracked, right? Then why adding to why we have to commit changes? Because this commit will take the snapshot of all your codes. So whenever you have changed the code, so whenever somebody changes the code, so we can recognize it very easily when we take the snapshot, right? So that's why we have to do the commit also. Firstly, your computer local files need to be stacked, and then we have to commit them. And then after committing them, we have to post it, host it in the GitHub platform. Right. We will know more about it